Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Turn that down a little bit. Music's a little powerful. Hello, hello, welcome. I suppose I should start recording. However, hello everyone. Hoi hoi. Silver back here. If I recall, last time I did Ranger stuff, I was speaking about Ranger things, and they were, audio was not working properly. So, here I am, coming back to reread some stuff and everything. Yes. So last time, I didn't realize the different scenes. I had to set up the same mic for each separate scene. Now that's all set up properly, so yay. Back here, we will not play testing the game. We might do that later, but when we'll play test at level 7. Last time in the previous video, we play tested at level 3. But yeah, I built a Ranger class. So the main thing with this was 2024's new Ranger I very much had problems with and disliked it, and I felt like their core thing of like forcing you to have Hunter's Mark and all of that nonsense, it felt more like a subclass like kind of feature, so I actually incorporated that into a subclass. And for the most part, I kind of just reworked Ranger from the ground up. There was a lot of problems. I did add some back features and everything, but I tried to make it more build your own and around that whole like nature thing and whatnot. Along with going with the Lord of the Rings Aragorn thing, which is how Ranger originally was based off of. Watched through the movies again, based it off of him, and took some ideas and suggestions. I kind of used a lot of those features of the old Rangers from 2014 and whatnot, and kind of incorporated that into the core mechanics. And then here we have, I think there's now 11 subclasses. I think 9 of them ready and 2 of them are things I'm still working on. All of this I still need to playtest and update, and we're working on that. We'll have more videos of us actually playtesting it, and I welcome you to playtest it yourself. But without further ado, let me just get into how I built Ranger. So this is my Ranger class. So there's focus points, and I took out spellcasting. Rangers are no longer spellcasters. Instead, you get focus points. It's 2 per level plus 2. This is designed for you have all these abilities, and we want them to use you. You shouldn't run into as many problems like monks and sorcerers do, where you can only do a feature like once or twice. And the plus 2 really helps with that for like low levels. And you have these things let you do cool things. So we're giving you 2 per level plus 2. And these are going to let you do focus talents, which kind of replaces spells. So Rangers have all of these focus talents and these abilities, and they'll spend focus points on them to do your cool stuff. This could be a variety of things. It could be just, like the Conjure Barrage, the classic stuff. Instead of conjuring it now, it's more of just firing a barrage. There's going to be, animal companion stuff, or possibly turning a miss into a hit where you miss the target, spend focus point, and get like a plus 2 to the attack to try to turn that into a hit. It could also be something simple as just like a good old bear trap. You throw down a bear trap. I also tried to make Ranger a little more open-ended for your weapon choices of using melee or ranged for a lot of their stuff. So I tried to flavor stuff to give you the choice in how you want to flavor your character, instead of forcing you down a path that says use Hunter Mark, So with that, we're trying to throw in a lot of options and building your own stuff. So, next is fighting style. The fighting style's still the same. You just pick any of the existing like fighting styles. This could be on whatever setting you do. This was designed for more 2014-esque, but you could probably run it with 2024. You know, you could pick Range Ray, you could pick Duelist, you could pick 2-weapon fighting, whatever it is. Just, if your DM's okay with it, yay. And then Focus Attack. If we're giving you focus points at level 1, I should probably give you a Focus talent at level 1 to spend those points on. So Focus talent is this feature that at level 1 you can spend 1 focus point to get advantage on an attack. Because you have 4 focus points at level 1, you would now be able to get advantage on 4 different attacks. Which might not be all that impressive or strong or whatever, but you are still just level 1. And next, at level 2, is your focus talents. This is where you really get to customize your character and jump in there and pick from this large list that I've made, and more are probably going to be added to it. Also, on just a side note real quick, we plan to make this all into like a wiki thing or make it more official. Maybe I'll write a book or make something of the sorts. For now, it's just in Discord because it's all in the playtesting stuff when you don't 100% know. This is just kind of where we're storing information. But I would love to share it with all of you and get your guys' feedback and comments and things for it. But focus talents. You'll pick 2 talents from the list. In addition, you could also change out your focused attack. Because it itself is a focus talent, you could swap it out and turn it into another one. As for swapping focus talents, we're debating whether that should be every long rest, make them like a prepared caster, which I'm thinking is probably the route we're going to lean towards, maybe swapping them out for a long rest. It's what you prepared for the day, which is kind of like a ranger thing. It's like, yeah, what did I prepare for in advance for this journey? Versus on the focus talent levels ups and swapping them out to then. But we'll see. Yeah, for that though, you now have 3 focus talents to your choice. We'll get into that list later. Next, at 3rd level, you're going to get a subclass and expertise. Subclasses, as I said, I think we have 9 ready, and I think 2 that are being worked on. We'll jump into all of those later. And then expertise, I really want to give you expertise earlier on. Because you're a ranger, I think you should be really good at doing one of the things, you know, one of the things you're proficient with. Whether that's survival, or animal handling, or, you know, nature. Or maybe it's none of those. Maybe you're just really good at, you're an investigator. You could go kind of like an Eberron route or something, be like a private detective. I don't know. Naturally, ability score improvement, that's all the same. Extra attack, just an extra attack, all the same. Focus talents, here you'll get to pick 2 more, for a total of 5, unless your subclass gave you more or something. Subclass features, whatever they are. Ability score improvement, Land Strider, and Vanish. So, Vanish is all the same. It should be the same ability you get normally at 14th level. We just kind of gave it to you sooner. Of where you can hide as a bonus action. I thought you should have this sooner. Kind of gives you a little bit buff and also lets us put a little more stronger stuff later on. Because in comparison to what other classes are doing at 14th level, hiding as a bonus action isn't that grandiose. So we brought it up sooner. In addition, Land Strider, you can moving through difficult terrain costs you no extra movement. I changed this slightly where it affects both non-magical and magical now. Now you're good at both. As long as it's difficult terrain, you can move through it. You can pass through plants, rocks, and other things without taking damage, and similar hazards of sorts, so I left that all in there. And then also gave you the advantage on saving throws against plants that are magically created, such as the Entangled spell. So that'll be 9th level. Focus talents, you get 2 more, again, 10th level. 11th level, you get another feature, ability score improvement. 13th level is Primal Sense. So Primal Sense means you can't be surprised. And if you're the first one in initiative, you get a surprise round. So if people jump and surprise and ambush your party, you're the ranger, you're the scout that's like high alert and everything, and you're having the keen senses. If you roll first in initiative, you now actually get to react before the enemy jumps you and fire your shot off or throw some traps down and try to protect your party or something. In addition to this, if you already have, you can't be surprised by whatever means. Maybe it's the alert feat because you really want to pair it with this. You now get advantage on initiative rolls. So, yeah. After that, Primal Sense, you get Focus Talents again, Ranger subclass, Ability Score Improvement, all the same. And then at 17th level, Reliable Attacks. You guys know Reliable Talent, right? The famous rogue feature. This is at 17th level. This is at the same level where people are casting Wish and Meteorite Swarms and whatnot. I gave you a pretty nice ability that says, you know, whenever you make an attack roll that you can add your proficiency bonus to, you can treat a d20 roll that is lower than 9 as a 10. So simply put, you roll a 4 on the dice, it's now a 10 plus all your bonuses. Yay. I don't think that's more broken than Wish, so yay, you have that. 18th level, more focus talents. 19th level, you get that ability score improvement, possibly your boon or whatever else if you want to add that there. And 20th level, the pinnacle of Ranger, as we have improved upon it so much. What could overcome? At 20th level, you're now at the peak, the prime of what Rangers can do. And if you have all of these talents and abilities, it'd be such a shame if you couldn't use what we gave you. So, if you start combat with 0 focus points, you gain 4 whole points. That's right, guys. It's the Sorcerer's ultimate thing. This is a joke. I'm leaving it there. You do get this, but this is just a joke, by the way. What we actually get, for their 20th level ability is Domain Expansion. If you notice, I haven't talked about favorite terrain at all. I made that all part of a subclass if you actually wanted to go make your ranger about that stuff. But I also now incorporate with your 20th level ability, where you now get to bring your favorite terrain with you. So you get access to a demi-plane. Yes, it's a little magical. You could reword it however you want or whatever, but you're also just 20th level. Like, you have attuned to nature so much, maybe you found it or something, you can flavor how you want. But at 20th level, you get your own demi-plane, and you can actually expand it out within you at a 50-foot radius. So you use your action, and now you get layer actions. So at initiative count 20, you get to pick one of 3 layer actions. You get to set up these layer actions with your DM. So it's very open-ended kind of thing of, I put in 3 suggestions in there and whatnot. For example, you could change the weather. You could just start making it raining or snowing in an area, or create a fog cloud or whatever, where it's now foggy and making everything lightly obscured and making range attacks harder or whatever. There's one of the suggestion ones is you can raise a 10-foot square by 10 feet or lower it. So you could just lift yourself off the ground and give yourself the high ground. Or enemies are charging in, maybe you just drop them down into a pit because they're in their little domain, and now they have to climb 10 feet to try to get out of it. Stuff like this, nothing that's too over the top, but I think it'd be kind of fun. It gives you more action, economy, and everything. I think it is pretty good, and just like a cool thing. In addition, outside of combat, you are now able to enter your domain as an action, kind of just like hop out. And you can kind of just live there. You can flavor it how you want, you know, have the cabin in the woods you wanted or whatever else. You know, do you. It's your domain. So that you get to now bring your favorite train with you wherever you want. So that's the standard core Ranger. In addition with this stuff, Ranger features, you get a D10, Constitution modifier, this is all the stuff. Proficiencies, light armor, medium armor, shields, simple martial weapons. Your saving throws are strength and dex. Animal hand, you can choose from a lot of these, or you could choose toolkits such as herbalism, as you can see, animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, survival. That stuff should all be the same. Equipment wise, put it in here. I think should be all pretty much the same. I think one key difference is I allow you to take any crossbow. So you could start with a hand crossbow if you wanted to, or instead of just a light one or a heavy crossbow. This is the ranged class as most people see it, and you still have that option available to you. You could also take a long or short bow, or you could just take a martial weapon. Maybe you don't want to do that stuff. Maybe you just want to go full melee. Go for it. Charge in there. Focus points, we did already explain a little bit, fighting style, that stuff, all that we went through. Next is jumping into the subclasses. So first subclass we made is the Specialist subclass. So this subclass is just designed to take Ranger and all the core abilities we gave you and just have you do them better and more of. So starting at third level, so when you pick this subclass, you get 3 additional Ranger talents. So while everyone else only has 3 or whatever else, you'll have 6 talents at level 3. And additionally, at 6th, 10th, and 14th level, you get to pick 1 additional one. So when everyone else is picking 2, you get to pick 3. Because we gave you all these more talents to work with and choose from the variety stuff, we're also giving you focus points. So at 7th level, you gain additional focus points at twice your proficiency bonus, allowing you to have additional focus points to use for casting all these new spells, well, not spells, abilities, talents we gave you. Also, I forgot to mention, for focus talents, how do you get them back? Well, of course, you recover all of them during a long rest, but also, you can get up to half your maximum during a short rest, allowing them to work with both, like, warlocks and monks, as well as other long resting people and everything. So, we kind of made them a little more versatile and whatnot on that matter. So, example, if you were 5th level, right, you have 12 focus points. You could long rest and get 12 back. But let's say you spent 10 of them. You only have 2 left. You could short rest and get back up to 6. You couldn't get more than that. You'd need to long rest to get more. Let's see here. Going back to the Specialist subclass, at 11th level, you can use your bonus action to recover 5 focus points. You can use this number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, regaining all uses during a long rest. Music's a little loud for me. There we go. So this, again, just lets you recover. This one could actually let you regain past that half mark, so you could short rest and then use this and get 5 more. You could also use it in the middle of combat. So this class is just good at doing stuff. A lot of it for longer and more of it. At 15th level, Wisdom with Age. At 15th level, you gain 3 skill proficiencies, 2 expertise that you're already proficient with, And additionally, at 18th level, when you learn, instead of learning focus talents like everyone else, you just learn all general focus talents. You know the entire list. You open that book and you say, I know it. As long as it's not part of a subclass that's on that general list, you have it prepared at all times. And that's kind of what Specialist is about. It's kind of that like wizard build is of like late game going to be powerful, power with having variety and being able to do stuff more. Unless we kind of strongly recommend this one. It could be a little complicated, but it allows you to just do ranger stuff. Let's try things out. And more of it. Also fun thing, because you get more of these, one of our characters, Whis was playing a character, they built their ranger using a subclass and used all those additional things to pick passive abilities. Such as there's a talent that passively increases your movement speed, but it can be taken multiple times. So they have the same number of skills as everyone else, but they also zoom really fast. So, you know, fun stuff. Next up is the Arcane Ranger. Arcane Ranger is the spellcasting. So if you missed spellcasting and you still wanted it for your ranger stuff, now you get it back. I should also mention there's a lot of parentheses and stuff. There's stuff subject to change. A lot of stuff are in parentheses for that if you are reading this. But for the Arcane Ranger, starting at 3rd level, you get 2 cantrips from any class. In addition, you get to pick 2 spells that are 3rd level or lower. And how you cast spells is to a 3-to-1 ratio. So if you want to cast a 1st level spell, you have to spend 3 focus points. If you wanted a 2nd level spell, you have to spend 6 focus points. If you wanted to cast a 9th level spell, 27 focus points. A lot of spell. So things are costful, and you could cast some things like more than time or earlier than other classes, but it might use up all of your focus points. For example, when you first take this class, you could pick a 3rd level spell such as Fireball, but you physically can't cast it at 3rd level because you don't have the focus points for it. You would only have 8 points. But if you level up to level 4, and then you do get access to said spell, being able to cast it, having 10 focus points, it would take all of your focus points to cast that one spell that is of a higher level than you. But you could cast Fireball at 4th level. Once, and that's it. But you're able to do cool stuff like that. Little bit game breaking, but like, I think in a fun and fair way. Again, subject to change, but we'll see. 7th level, you get to learn 2 more spells, this time 5th level or lower. 11th level, you get to learn 2 more spells of 7th level or lower. 15th level is Grand Magic, you get to learn 1 spell of any class. It's going to be 8th level or lower until you hit 17th level, and then you can change that out for a 9th level spell. We still want you to still only be able to cast a Wish once you're actually at 17th level, to be a little more fair on the balancing part, because some of those spells can be broken, especially when they're paired and comboed with other stuff. But yeah, as for being able to change stuff out, we might be, I was thinking maybe we change them out during the same stuff as your talent stuff. Maybe it's the prepared caster where you change them out as a long rest. It might make the class a little strong, but also you only know a couple spells from each thing, so your spell choices are very limited, but you can choose from any book or any class. Let's see here. Next is the Wanderer subclass. The Wanderer subclass, that is one that's designed for that old ranger that people loved with favorite terrain, because now it gets favorite terrain. Except, at 3rd level, you get to pick 3 favorite terrains. I wanted this because, one, favorite terrain was very niche anyways. It was hard for it to actually, like, be applied. Now I'm giving you more availability to apply it. And also, if you're good at, you know, let's say mountains, maybe you're also good at going into like caves or like the Underdark or stuff like that because you're crawling into stuff. Or maybe you're good on forest because the forest surrounding the mountains or on the mountains or whatever. Whatever it is. So you now get to pick 3 terrains. You can flavor your character however you want. But knowing the survival stuff of doing things or tracking a beast in a forest might be pretty similar to tracking beast in a meadow or something, you know? So your ranger now gets 3 of those. In addition, I think they get some proficiencies. They get to pick some more of those. There's also one thing we did change. Where was it? So I changed it so when you're traveling, you can travel at stealth speed at normal pace. That is no longer subject to just you. It can now affect your entire party because you're leading and guiding them as like the ranger should. But the only caveat is your entire party cannot have disadvantage on stealth. So you can't be walking around clanking in plate armor or having someone else ruining the stealth check. But as long as everyone's good with that, everyone is decent at stealth, you can instruct and guide everybody stealthily through the woods or whatever. Again, I don't know how often travel takes place, but that is an option. Next is Tireless, also at 3rd level. You get to ignore the 1st level of exhaustion. So you still accumulate exhaustion, you just ignore the effects of it. So you're still getting levels and stacking up. This could be paired very nicely with like Fury Barbarians, get that Fury Rage in there. Or some other stuff or whatnot. You can do whatever, that's just the first thing I thought of. But yeah, you're wandering, you're traveling, and maybe it's just one more day out or whatever. You can just push yourself physically, ignore that rest or whatnot, or you stay up one night to protect the party, and then you could rest the next night. This ranger can do that, because you still feel and stuff, you're aware that you're getting exhausted, but you're just able to power through it. You've been on a lot of long journeys and stuff. One day's not gonna stop you. Death Explorer. At 6th level, your walking speed increased by 10. You get a climbing and swimming speed equal to your walking speed. Additionally, you can now dash as a bonus action by spending 1 focus point. You also get expertise, so you get additional expertise at 6th level. And quick recovery at 11th level. Whenever you finish a short or long rest, you can now decrease your exhaustion by 1 for a short rest or 2 for a long rest. So you're accumulating all this exhaustion and you're able to get rid of it. But I also wanted to give you ability, since we're giving all this stuff of ignoring stuff and being able to get rid of it easier, why not use an ability that uses your exhaustion? So also at 11th level, you get Not Done Yet. If you drop below 1 HP, you can take a level of exhaustion and remain at 1 HP. In addition, removed 1 disease or condition afflicting you. Condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. So you can just like power through it. Kind of like half-orc feature thing, but you can just take a level exhaustion and just push through that and not die yet. So yeah. Now, I did also say if you're doing this in like a 10 system, maybe you take 2 or something. You can work that out with your DM or however that is. But yeah, just a suggestion. Traveled the world, starting at 15th level. All terrains are now your favorite terrain, so you just get all of them. You are now really good at your survival stuff in every single one. You're good at tracking. You have traveled the world. Additionally, you gain proficiency in all of the base things that a ranger could get proficient with, of animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, survival. It's possible we might change this. but I also gave you the ability to double your bonus for that. It might be too much overloaded, so we may change it. But yeah. And one last thing. What was it? And at 18th level, for going back to the tireless feature, you can now ignore all levels of exhaustion until you die. Your character is still aware you're accumulating the exhaustion, you're just able to now push yourself to literally death. So, fun stuff, you know? There's the... I forget where, I think I left off on, the companion one. I think that's where you guys heard. Let me know, please. But I think that's the one I got to re-explain. When I found out my audio was broken, wasn't working properly. But next up is Sentry. This is the tower defense subclass kind of thing. Could be flavored multiple ways of you're just a ranger that builds contraptions in the woods or whatnot, or whatever. Could be a ranger that, you know, maybe they are just befriending animals. We have a bunch of pet monkeys or something, kind of throw darts at stuff. I don't know. Maybe you're some Eberron gunslinger that builds mechanical cannon towers or something. Whatever it is. Could be fun stuff. So their core thing is they actually get a separate list. This is the first one that gets special talents that other people don't get. They get to throw down turrets. These turrets have a set amount of HP, 5 per ranger level, and AC of 10. They take your turn immediately after yours, and they typically just take an attack action, deal 1d10 damage, plus your int or wisdom modifier. They have a range of 50/100, 1d8 damage, and they last an hour and have 10 ammunition. So you can just throw down turrets. There's no limit to the number you can throw down. So this class with a bit of preparation could be really strong. You know, you throw down a couple turrets, they last an hour, and then voila, you take your turn. You could be doing 4 attacks in a turn. Though it does take your action to throw it down, so like in combat maybe it's not as strong, but it could get as strong. So you spend your first turn, wham, you slap down a turret, second turn, slap down another turret, and then on your third turn you're taking 4 attacks or something. If you're level 5, that is, or if you did just bonus action light attack, I guess. 5 or 6 attacks in a single turn, pretty good stuff. Let's see here. Next is mobile cover. It says you throw down a piece of cover. It gives you half cover at higher levels. Creatures can move this by spinning at half movement speed. At higher levels, you can move at full movement speed. That's at 5th. At 7th, it becomes 3/4 cover. 11th level, it becomes full cover. However, if you peek out an attack, it becomes 3/4. Reason for this is because the turns are happening simultaneously. So if you move out of it, or if you peek out and then jump back in, that moment where you peeked out to shoot the arrow or whatever else, someone could shoot you then, and then you go back into hiding. If you just stand there though, and you don't leave it, and they don't have an angle on you, you got full cover. So as long as they don't fireball you, you should be good. Should not be able to be targeted. Yay. They can target it though. It, I believe, only has an AC of 5, so pretty easy to hit, and they could just kill it. You could, though, throw your own turrets behind it, though, giving your own turrets a bonus cover. Let's see here. There's a burst turret. It's the same as the other turrets except it's a 15-foot cone, 2d6 damage. There's the bolt turret, which is the same turrets except it's 30-foot line. There's the sniper turret. It's the same one but it has a range of 300 feet and it can't shoot targets at a 15 feet. In addition, it's a d10 of damage. There's the array tower, which is this is the only one you're allowed to have only one constructed at a time. It creates a barrier or a shield of some kind. I believe in a 15-foot radius. Let me double check. Yes, 15-foot radius centered on the tower. It only has an AC of 2, so as long as they don't roll a natural 1, they're able to hit this shield. And it absorbs ranged attacks. So you could put your turrets on the inside or you be on the inside and set this array down. And then it has 5 hit points per ranger level. This you get at 11th level, so minimum 55 hit points. And then it's just going to absorb attacks. So if they're shooting their bows at you, they'll hit the shield first, and they'll kill the shield and destroy the turret before they can harm you on the inside. Someone's able to just walk in there or stab you with a spear, though, so, you know. Good against range stuff. 15th level, you get Mortar and Ballista/Cannon Tower. Mortar can't shoot stuff within 15 foot, has a range of 120 feet, and it does 3d6 bludgeoning damage in a 10-foot AoE area. So it's a good AoE damage that's consistent. And the Ballista Tower is the same as the original tower of the 550, the regular turret, except it's just massive and now upscaled, where it now does 4d8 plus your Enter Wisdom mod of damage and whatnot. So same little tower, except giant spear instead of just the crossbow bolts or something. And after that, you now get some magical abilities. At 7th level, your special talents, as well as your own damage, counts as magical for overcoming resistances. Sorry, it just says your special talents. Technically, it's not your own damage. But I think they have an ability that can help that. But anyhow, so your turrets can now overcome magical resistance. Yay! Special ammo. At 11th ammo, you can change the damage type of your talents. So you could make your turrets into fire damage, turn that cone thing into a flamethrower, or the bolt tower into a literal lightning bolt tower, or whatever else. There's a nice list here. You can make it magical, piercing, slashing, bludgeoning, fire, lightning, acid, poison, thunder, cold, radiant, or necrotic. At 15th level, you get resupply. So you can target one of your special talents and spend half the points that cost to create it for its to double duration, as well as refill any hit points or ammo for it. So if said turret costs you 4 hit points, 4 focus points to summon, you can spend 2 to refill it. So you don't have to spend 4 to make a whole new turret. In addition, it now doubles its duration, which is yay. So now you can make your turrets last longer. And then also at 15th level, Partner in Crime. Whenever you placed a turret as an you can place an additional one of the same type as part of the same action, but you do still have to spend the cost for it. So when you throw down a turret, you can now, as part of the same action, throw down a second turret. You do have to spend 8 points instead of just the 4, but voila, you now got 2 out on the same turn. Yay! And that's kind of the Sentry subclass. Whoa. And then next is the Beastmaster subclass, which I think that's where we left off. This one is greatly influenced by the Tasha's Beastmaster stuff. I did take their stuff. It's kind of that. I reflavored stuff to work with focus points. The revival's a little different and whatnot. I think I changed the stats around just a little bit. But for the most part, you can still pick the land, sea, and whatnot. I did change the damage stuff to be your companion and you, because it kind of feels bad if just your companion can hurt a thing and you can't. And their 15th level ability is now Evolution, where I made 6 different things, so they evolve into one of 6 stat blocks. So you pick your first 3, and as soon as you hit 15th level, you can now pick one of 6 when you summon your creature. And the 6 ones are very vastly improved. I also suggestions with this, it's no longer just a beast, it now can just be any creature. You could have a dragon, wormling, or all these other stuff. It just uses its stat blocks. So if you wanted other features or abilities like the breath weapon, that would you have to work with your DM, and I would suggest just give it at like a reasonable time and make it like uses. Like the breath weapon, maybe at the same point in time when other people are getting fireball, maybe you could give them a breath weapon that they use once a day or something. Maybe. That's up to you. But yeah. The rest of it you should be able to hear from our other video, watch and see. If not, let me know if there's a spot that I'm missing. I'll go back and redo this, explain things, but you could also read it. Do plan to post this out for you all. In addition with that, there's one other subclass we are working on. That subclass is the herbalist / alchemist subclass. A subclass that is designed to gather all the herbs and plants and stuff and brew potions. And we're thinking kind of making like a set list of here's things you can create, as well as just kind of leave the open thing of your DM decides. We suggest if you have the materials, you'd go find materials that are designed for cold resistance or whatever else. Whatever, if you grab 2 things and then you're like, hey, I want to combine these 2 things together and make a cold resistance potion, your DM will decide the DC. So you can kind of make everything. It's very up in the air because there's so much possibility there that I think we can't cover everything. It'd be really hard to. But we kind of made a system in where it's like, hey, yeah, here's suggested stuff. Here's here's a list of things, several things that you can 100% make. And how we're going to balance it out where you can't just be like, hey, I'm making health potions all the time. Your potions are unstable. They'll last only a minute. Those are the ones you can just use your focus point. You can just wham, make a potion for combat and use it. Or additionally, you can actually use a station, proper equipment and everything, and you can make a stabled potion. Those ones will last longer, but you need the proper materials and everything and the time to actually make it. And which your DM will help with, and whatever else. So you could buy materials or find that yourself, or whatnot, to craft said potions. So, working on that one. We're also maybe thinking 15th level, maybe they last forever. Can now be a proper alchemist. Yay! Set up your own little shop. But that's something we're working on. That's kind of it. Looking tune, we're gonna be playing more Ranger sometimes. Hopefully soon. Once we're able to all get back together again. But yeah. That will be playtesting at level 7. Last time we did it at level 3. We're now jumping in, and we're also going to give them a magic item of their choice. And they're just kind of working with their characters. We might be able to do 2 sessions, where we do level 7 as well as level 11. Possibly. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. Thanks for listening to my rambles about Ranger and stuff I'm working on. I do a lot of D&D, currently DMing an Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. We're in the middle of it, but if you guys want to hear that. I just hear the stories, I guess. Let me know. I also plan to stream some future games once we actually start a new campaign, so if you want to see that, let me know. Otherwise, just going to be kind of variety games, doing whatever. I plan to do improv sessions soon. Play the game Change, if you guys haven't heard. I honestly recommend checking out Markiplier, if you haven't seen him. He does a lot of improv games. He doesn't do a lot. I think he's made a few videos on them. I love them. They're really funny. The octopus garden moment, if you're aware of it. If not, you should go check out the videos. Made me laugh so hard, I had to pause the video. I had to stop the video, laugh for a few minutes, and then go back to watching. There's some good lines in there, some funny stuff. So I suggest, go check it out. It's just something I genuinely enjoy. And with that, I don't know. If you want to hear more content from me, subscribe, but I also suggest sharing this stuff with others. If you enjoyed this, go share it with someone else. Be like, hey, here's an idea. Maybe you hate the idea, but maybe you can take some cool stuff out of it. Maybe there's some choice stuff you can be like, yeah, I like this. Let's use it. But yeah. Whatever else. What's the streamer thing? I'm terrible at this, by the way. Ring the bell, I think. Liking. I do actually want to see comments, so I can work on stuff. You know, read those. Sponsorships. Not sponsored by Beatles and Grimm's. Have you guys heard of Beatles and Grimm's? We're not sponsored by them, but I sure wish we were. I have this wonderful Rime of the Frost Maiden Icewind Dale box that I got from them. Came with a little Yeti plushie, all these cool maps and figures and whatnot. Really cool things. I also have this legendary Curse of Strahd edition. Comes with little finger puppets and all such cool stuff. And maybe you don't want these whole boxes with all these stuff and everything. Maybe you can't afford that. Maybe you just want like a pin or just one little things. They sell those separately. If you just want like a Harper's pin because you want to play a Harper and just pin that up on your little collar or something, you can. It's really cool. Beatles and Grimm's. Not sponsored. But I honestly like them. Just good stuff. You should check it out. What other niches should I check off the list? Anyhow, enough of this. Enough of my ramblings. Thank you guys for hanging out, listening. Fare thee well. Plan to make some new stuff, hopefully soon in the future. Until then, fare thee well. May we meet again, perhaps someday soon. Have fun. Stay comfy. My name